This customer just bought this Jaguar from a dealer, and we found shockingly $5,000 in repairs. Who's at fault here? Let's dive into it. Let's talk about it. Let's get started. This is a 2012 Jaguar XJL Portfolio. It's not supercharged. It has the standard natural aspirated V8. It's got 150,000 miles on it roughly. We're going to take a look around it today and show you all the things we found wrong. The customer's concerned about a coolant leak and also some suspension issues, and how Jaguars, although can be purchased cheaply, the repairs on them are almost Ferrari level. They're really high on a Jaguar. We only found 3 things wrong, and we reached the $5,000 mark, possibly more, really quickly. Let's take a look around this XJL. Here's the front of this XJL, and the grille looks spectacular. It has some wonderful looking headlights. We do see some pitting on the hood. There's like a lot of repair attempts with touch-up paint or something. There's quite a lot there. I'm not sure if the customer did that or the dealership, but they are there. And this XJL is rolling on 20s, Mrs. Wizard.
Whoa, it's really balling.
We can see it's designated on this little insignia here, Portfolio. It is a higher end package with a lot of nicer amenities. But as we go down the side, there's no dents or scratches. It's in very good condition. For 150,000 miles, it looks like it has half the miles. It's really in good shape. You can see it's XJ. It is basically a base model, except for it's a Portfolio upgrade. And it's longer, it's an L. That side's equally nice and clean, so let's go ahead and jump under the hood. One thing that keeps these high mileage engines running great is keeping up with the maintenance. Everything ages and you need to take action to stay on top of your game. Just like this engine, I have a few years on me. I want to keep fit and healthy as long as possible. Luckily, I found Grüns, the sponsor of today's video. Now these aren't your normal multivitamin, green gummy, or prebiotic. They're all that and so much more. Each of these daily packs, you get over 20 vitamins and minerals and over 60 whole food ingredients that improve gut health, energy, immunity, recovery, and cognition benefits. All that can't fit into a single gummy, so they gave you 8, and they taste just like a fruit snack. Grüns gives you 100% of what your body needs for safe vitamins and 25% of your daily needs for certain minerals. Those minerals are the ones that can be harmful when taken in excessive levels. I've taken multivitamins in the past with the hope I stay healthy, but with no obvious changes in my body. After taking these gummies, I'm noticing some positive changes. No more taking these huge horse-sized pills that might contain just 7 to 9 vitamins that your body ends up sending straight through. If you want to make a change in your health, you need to try Grüns. Click the link in the description below to get 52% off. That's a huge savings. I wish my parts supplier would offer me deals like this. But now let's get back to this Jag. So just like a Volkswagen or an Audi, it's a European vehicle, and when they get age on them, which really all that's wrong with this vehicle is just miles and age have caught up to it, with the cooling system, there's tons of plastic pipes and hoses. Let me show you. So we have this plastic line here that tees into more plastic, which tees into more plastic, which is a plastic housing. You can see it's just kind of molded plastic here. All these seams like to crack, or things like that like to go bad. There's more plastic here. The radiator itself is plastic. There's so many plastic pipes and hoses on this that are just begging to break or crack with age. And the plastic doesn't just reside on top. There's plastic pieces and pipes all over the place. Danielson did a pressure test of the cooling system. We didn't see much dripping on the ground right away, but he was very wise in getting the Techlong, Mrs. Wizard.
Our favorite handy-dandy tool.
He had kind of a gut feeling, I better check underneath the intake. And I'm very glad that he did, because that's where we found our first $1,600 fix. So here's our handy-dandy Techlong. I'm going to take a look here. We can see antifreeze all in the valley right next to what's an oil cooler, and there's quite a lot of antifreeze down there. We all joke about the Techlong and be all silly about it, but honestly, It's one of the best tools in the shop. It's actually on our Amazon affiliates link in the description below, where all the tools we use in the shop are listed for sale. If you purchase anything there, we get a small cut. We really appreciate it. But if we wouldn't have had a borescope camera, it would have been almost impossible to find the leak. We could have missed it, or we would have had to remove the intake just to verify what's going on. But with this little tiny camera, we can slide down into areas where a hand or an eye can't really view very well, or a hand can't fit, I should say. And it found, without any major teardown, in 5 or 10 minutes, we found exactly what's going on with this coolant leak. Unfortunately, now we know what's wrong. It's not a 10-minute job to get down to it. It's a 6-hour job at $175 an hour. That adds up, guys. It adds up really fast. This entire upper intake, all this plastic pieces, all this stuff has to come off to even get down to it. And once it's all removed, like in this picture, you can finally get to the oil cooler. We quoted replacing the entire oil cooler simply because if we get all the way down there and find out it's cracked or damaged or burst open, we can replace the entire cooler. We really don't want to go all that distance just to replace an O-ring or a seal or a gasket. Put all this back together, and in 3 months the oil cooler fails from age. It's got 150,000 miles on it. So we quoted just replacing the oil cooler. We'll solve this coolant leak once and for all, and it won't have to be revisited probably for the rest of the life of this vehicle. $1,600, cha-ching, we're already there. We still have 2 more issues to go. Before we dive into that, let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior.
Okay, 142,848 miles, and I love Jaguars. They're such beautiful, beautiful cars. But like that screen there, and obviously it does turn into a gauge cluster when the car is on. But even with all these miles, the interior is so nice. I love how the wood wraps around right below the dash, wraps around all the way to our door card as well, which has really nice camel-colored leather beneath. The rest of the dash is leather wrapped. And again, no blistering, no seams ripping, nothing like that. Have 2 very nice circular vents and an analog clock in the center. We do have another screen, which also, at the same time, they're both showing leaping Jaguars. But as we move down, we have piano black around all of our HVAC controls. We do have the pop-up shifter, which will come up when the car is turned on. I do like the blue contrast to the black up here, so it does have a nice bit of elegance added to it between the contrast between the blue and the orange. As we move back, our center console is also leather wrapped and has lots of cords, whatnot in the center, but looks really nice with the nice navy up here and the camel down below. The camel leather continues to the seats with some black piping on the edges. The back seat is looking fabulous because, as we know, back seats, unless you have children, and this isn't the style of car to have children usually in, look fabulous. The ceiling is a very lovely ivory Alcantara. And in this view, we can see 3 leaping Jaguars all at the same time, with on 2 screens and in the center of our steering wheel with, of course, the standard buttons that we are used to seeing on today's steering wheels. So enough of this interior talk. Let's get this up in the air and see what's going on under there.
Are you ready for the big screwdriver, Mrs. Wizard?
Is that your magic wand?
It's Excalibur.
Excalibur.
It discovers many truths in cars.
I guess it can show us something today.
Yes. Anyways, this customer has some concerns about some metallic noises going on when they go over bumps. It sounds like it's in the front struts area. And they've been hearing some clunking with the suspension, so we're going to go front to back, do our quick inspection, and then we'll show you what we found on those other items that are bad. So we don't see any coolant leaks up here, but you can see right here some wetness coming out. That's coolant coming out of the V of the engine and spilling down the back side, and also on that side as well. So that is the leak we have going on. Let's check our brakes. They're about 40% remaining. One thing we did find with 150,000 miles on this vehicle is the front shocks are making some metallic noise. When you go and actually compress them by hand, they make kind of a noise. You can see here, they're not air struts or anything fancy, but yet they are in fact fancy. And we'll show you why when we lower the vehicle. Those are around $600 per shock. So $1,200, and you haven't even done the labor yet. Now let's get to our clunking. Where's the clunking coming from? We noticed when we pull it in, Danielson would kind of go in reverse and drive back and forth, and these front wheels, they move a lot in the wheel well, quite a lot, and making a loud clunking noise. We'll show you what's going on with that. We found it. So these aren't really the control arm. This is the control arm. This is kind of a locating arm or a track arm that keeps everything located, which it's not doing a very good job of since the bushing is shot. I'll show you. Look at that, guys. It's like Play-Doh. Look at the wheel. That's what is happening when you go. Every time you hit the brakes, the whole wheel is shifting back and forth in the wheel well. So Excalibur has exposed more truth. Both of those will need to be replaced, and also an alignment done, a front end alignment. These are about $250 per arm, $500. Then you got a couple hours of labor and the alignment, $800 to $1,000 just for that. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the car. These brakes are about 50% remaining. Again, here's our bad shocks. The rest of the suspension has normal wear and tear from 150,000 miles. Nothing really needs to be replaced just yet other than these arms and the shocks, but it definitely has time or miles on it. Nothing loose there. As we head on back, our transmission is not leaking anything. And we have a nice girthy shaft, Mrs. Wizard.
Yikes.
Flex disc has very minor cracking on the surface only, but it's still serviceable and still usable. Our exhaust is intact. It's not been modified, which you'd be surprised. Some people modify cars like this. Shaft again is good. Here's our rear differential. Nothing's leaking there. These boots here look good. These boots look good. We do have an air suspension in the back. Everything seems to be doing fine back here though. Our sway bar links are good. Nothing loose. Brakes are about 60% in the back. These CV boots are good as well. Air shock is fine. We do see a little bit of a split going on this boot, but it's just from age. Nothing's loose. Doesn't need to be replaced just yet. Brakes are about 60% as well. So we found 3 major items. The sad thing is the parts and the labor is so high on this thing. Let's get this thing on the ground and talk about it and show you the tops of those shocks. These are not your standard dumb shocks. They're smart shocks. They have brains. That's right. They're electronic shocks. Let's take a look. As you can see right here, there's some wiring that goes to it. Look at that, guys. Electronics with 2 pins in it. I'll put that back together and snap it on. There we go. So your average $50, $100, maybe $150 shocks are now worth 3 times that because they're electronic. And your standard Monroe shocks or any other brand like that, you're not going to find this at your Advance Auto or AutoZone or any of those places like that. There's no aftermarket for these. You have to go and get OEM electronic shocks. It pays about 2 hours a side, which is 4 hours total, to disassemble all this and replace the shocks and the spring seats and the mounts and all that stuff. And by the time you order the mounts and the shocks, it's $700 per side. It's almost $2,000 just for the front shocks. The customers had this roughly in the 30-day range. They haven't had it that long, and they're concerned about all these issues. They just bought it from a dealer. Let's tally this up real quick. About $1,600 for the intake off oil cooler job, which the cooler itself is $500 or $600. And the labor and the plenum gaskets and intake gaskets and all those, it adds up fast. Then we got around $2,000 for the front shocks. Then we got around $1,000 for the bottom end with those control arms. $4,600. Then you add sales tax, which you know that's going to add some to that. You're at or exceeding the $5,000 mark. Now, are we going to fix this? Nope. We're not. The customer just wants to find out independently from the dealership what is going on here. What's it going to cost? They're paying for the inspection and the diagnosis, and that's it. They're going to take this data, and they feel like they're going to take this to the dealership they bought it from and go to combat with them. I don't know what's going to happen, but who's at fault here? This customer purchased this vehicle. I'm not sure that they got a pre-purchase inspection. I don't think that they did. The items that we're seeing wrong with this vehicle are not from neglect or damage or accidents. It's just from age. Should the dealership have sold this on their lot with all these issues on it? A dealership can't rebuild and restore every single car they sell. If they do, they will guaranteed go bankrupt because they can't charge you for the money that's spent to restore this. No one's going to pay that. They also don't drive the car for 1,000 miles and verify every little creak and rattle and every little leak. They can't. I would never expect a dealership to do that. They don't have time. If they have 500 cars in the lot, how are they going to have time to do all that? But I'm not going to give the judgment here today. We're all as a team together. We're the Car Wizard team. You are going to be the judge now. In the comments, let us know who's at fault for this and who should pay this $5,000 bill. Is it the customer or the dealer? Who's it going to be? You guys make the judgment. We showed you the evidence. We showed you what it's going to cost. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. The customer feels like they're going to get that money from the dealer and then pay us to do the work. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. What do you guys think? Let us know again. So before this car leaves and some sort of combat ensues with the dealership, I wanted to get a video to you guys so you can see sometimes when you purchase a vehicle, there's a lot of unseen or unforeseen expenses that you need to plan for. Now, whether the dealer pays or the customer pays, that is yet to be seen. But again, with the Techlong that we use, there's many tools in this shop that we use. That's on our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. If you purchase anything, we get a small cut, and we really do appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because we have a shop full of cars right now. It's very busy in the shop, which means tons of sweet videos for you guys.
You're doing a video on a lawnmower?
No, that's not going to be on a video. That's just a shop lawnmower getting repaired. But maybe you guys want to see that. I don't know. Let me know. Thanks for watching.